Howdy folks, High Value DMD. Don't just give me your subscription, but please let me earn it. Let me earn your like and let me earn your comment. Well, fellas, it's as simple as the title of this video. I'm going through a phase right now where I'm struggling. And the reason why I'm struggling is I really want to get a car, a fun car. Specifically a car with a manual transmission. I currently drive a Chrysler Pacifica. It's a 2022 model. And I bought that a year ago, right before I graduated dental school. Crazy, right? Like I'm late 20s guy, I'm a doctor, and I'm driving a minivan. The reason why I bought it is because I moved all the way across the country from Florida out west. And I knew I needed something to be able to move my stuff, my whole life. I just threw it in the van, and I came out here. Another reason why I bought the van is because I was really into car camping at the time, and I went all the way up into New Mexico, and I camped on the ski slopes, got up early in the morning to be first in line to ski. So I did that. It was kind of like a survival type of thing. I had a really good sleeping bag set up, and so I did that. That was a phase. But let's face it, guys. You move on. Like, I got married, and when we travel, we're not going to be camping in the van. Okay? Most chicks just don't do that. That's a reality. So I got this van, and it's doing everything I need it to do. It's great for moving stuff when I need it. Heck, it's more useful than most trucks out there. And I don't really care what people think of me. But at the same time, I could feel that tug, and I'm thinking, man, I'm a doctor. I'm in my 20s, and I'm driving a freaking van. Shouldn't it be time to buy something that's fun, that's cool? I actually am really into cars, and I've driven a manual transmission car vehicle 3 times. The first time, it was several years ago when I was little, at 15 or 16. My dad tried to teach me how to drive his Ram 3500. And I did okay at it, not very well. Later, before I moved to Florida, one thing I wanted to do was master a motorcycle. So I got my motorcycle license. I learned how to ride a bike with a clutch. My dad was super into motorcycles when he was younger. So that's something I wanted to do. Like, that was a goal I had, and I did it. And I got my motorcycle endorsement on my license. I went out to Florida, and I drove one of my friend's Mazda vehicle, his little car. It's like hatchback. I drove it twice, and I learned a little bit more about manual transmission cars. And I really like cars. I want to drive more. I want to key into that hobby of mine. I just don't have a car to do it, you know? And so I've been thinking about cars, man. Maybe like a Mazda Miata. Heck, maybe step it up and do a Corvette, right? Like, I'm a doctor. Get a Corvette. That's part of my brain that's speaking to me. The other part of my brain is telling me a couple other things. It's saying, okay, well, but you need to save for retirement. You should put all your money into like the stock market right now because it's doing very well. Like, I have some money in there. And so I'm not doing poorly financially. I'm doing pretty good for starting out. The other side of me is thinking, well, you'll be moving in less than a year. You may want to buy a house, or you may rent, but you're going to need money for that move. So that's part of like the rational side of my brain that's speaking. Another part of me is saying, well, this year you're going to need to travel. You need to get some traveling in because you're about to go into residency training. You're not going to do anything when you're in residency. So use your money for that right now instead of dumping it into a car. There's all of these things that are speaking to me. And the phase ebbs and flows, right? Like, I really want a car some days, and then some days I'm good. But here's like a red pill I want to give you guys. So here I am right now, and there's a lot of men that have been in my position. They want to do something like this. Well, let's say they're 21 and they could like barely afford the payment, or they could make it work, right? They'd be hurting, they couldn't be able to save, but they could make it work. but they don't get the car. So then they wait till they're like mid-20s, 25, 26. They get married, and then they think, well, now is not the right time. We need to buy a house. I need to make sure my wife's needs are taken care of, which that's noble, and you should do that. And so you put off buying the car. And then 30, 31, 32, 33 comes along. You got a couple of kids. I call kids grocery grubbers, right? So you got to put shoes on their feet. You got to put food on their plate. You got to pay for their soccer teams and all their sports equipment and their dance recitals, ballet, whatever. So money just starts flying out of your bank account even more. And so you put off buying the car. 45, 50 comes along, and then your kids are in college, right? And you had to save for their college fund. Hopefully you had the luxury to be able to do that early on, right? And then you feel like you have to pay for their college and pay for their rent, pay for their fraternity or sorority, pay for them a little bit of spending money so they can have a decent time in college. So they don't have to struggle as much as you did while you were in college. Because I know for me, like, my parents helped me in college, but dude, I studied my time away. I was trying to build a future for myself to provide for these kids right here that I have. I'm talking about my 45, 50-year-old self. And so you prioritize them through college. And then if you have a couple of daughters, what do you know? You're going to be paying for a wedding. And my wedding wasn't outlandishly expensive, but heck, weddings are going to be 30, 40 grand average. I mean, an average, not that great of a wedding in the future because inflation or whatever. So, you're just turning out your pockets left and right for that. And then finally, when you're 65 or 70, your kids are hopefully grown up. They're hopefully not on drugs. They're hopefully not still living with you, dependent on you. And then you might think, okay, finally, I can buy the car that I always wanted to buy. I'm going to put myself first. Finally. And by that time, if I'm 65 or 70, there will be no more manual transmission cars. Because that's sort of going away. Everything's going to paddle shifters or these other things, right? And heck, people are pushing these electric cars. They're saying that gas cars are going to go away, petrol cars are going away, and it's going to be electric cars. And I will say, you see Dodge and stuff pushing back against that now with the new Trump administration. They're bringing back the Challenger, man, because nobody wants to buy an electric Challenger. People want to buy a Hemi V8 Mopar, all right? But you don't know what's going to happen in the future. And heck, maybe there is a manual transmission car when I'm 70 years old in 40 years, 45 years. And maybe I have sciatica. Maybe I have a nerve injury and I can't use my left leg. And, I can't shift the car like I wanted to when I was young. That's a red pill, man. I mean, so part of me just wants to say, screw it. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to do it now because I have worked so much of my youth away already. I'm going to get the car now and I'm going to experience it right now. Man, it's tough. It is tough because you have to balance the practical and you have to balance everyone else's needs with just having a little bit of fun, Just having that fun that you always wanted to have. So I wanted to hear from you guys. Did you put off doing something that you always wanted to do? Or did you pull the trigger on that thing? Maybe it's that boat, that motorcycle, that car, that gun you always wanted to buy. And with that, I will leave you. I hope I earned your subscription. I hope I earned your like, and I hope I earned your comment. Let me know what you think below. Until next time.